Very good morning. I hope everybody is able to hear me and you are able to watch my screen. Yes. So this is the demo for Blue Prism, third session what we are discussing. Okay. So yes, during the session, any doubts are there, please enter in the comment window. We'll talk about that later. Fine. So yesterday we were talking about the Blue Prism application, how we can work. Okay. And how to work with the Object Studio and basic things we have discussed, right? And then what is Blue Prism homepage and the studio and control room, this all we have discussed. Okay. So whenever we go for working with the Object Studio, these are the options we are going to use to build the workflow. In Object Studio, we can have either one page or multiple pages. The same thing can be performed in the Process Studio when you are going to define a process. What is meant by process? Group of business objects, group of business. So when we are working with the simple business processes, it will be easy, like we can do it in Process window also, in Process Studio also. But when we are working in a complex environment, like a business process is BPM flow is very high, then we need to divide our business process into the different pages, and that we have to do it. This is what we have done yesterday. During this business object creation, we modified how many times? 5 times. Every time when you modify, it will maintain the history. You can see the history is maintained, and it is telling us whether that source is available or not. In case if you want to go back to the old version, then it will be used. Then it is going to be used. Okay. So yesterday's session is already there in the YouTube. Some people may not be received. Just search for RTL RPA, and we can see that both the sessions, the Blue Prism first and Blue Prism second. So both are available there. Now today, let me go with the new option here. Fine, guys. Fine. So let's go to the studio, and I'm trying to create a new business object here so that everybody will be clear. Okay. So as some people are freshers are there, we must take it multiple times in the initial stage. Okay. So go to the object studio and right click, create an object. Now we are trying to create a business object. What is meant by business object? One business object is nothing but one business process. One business process. Okay. So here I'm going to mention, as I told yesterday, RTL underscore FB. That's okay. Click next button. It's like the moment why we are talking about Facebook integration, which is very simple, is in the initial stage, we have to talk with the simple applications. Then we talk with the complex applications. Then we talk with the use cases. Then we'll discuss about the project priorities and all. So step by step, we'll be going with that. Okay, fine. So click finish button. We just given the business object name as well as the description. Double click. When you double click on the business object, it will open the object studio. It will open the object studio. Okay. So let's maximize this. Let's maximize. There is an initial page. We'll talk about that later. Cleanup page is there. This also we'll talk about later. This is what actual our page. You can have either one, sorry, we can have either one page or multiple pages. What is mean by page? Page is nothing but a group of actions. Group of actions you are performing. Like, let's say you would like to perform 200 actions. Okay. So I cannot put all these 200 in a particular page. Okay. It doesn't mean that we cannot. We can place the actions, but it will be looks like a complex. Okay. In future, if somebody want to work with that particular business object, it will be difficult to understand. That's why we'll divide into the pages, and then we will combine these pages from the process studio. Okay. So the moment when we go to the page, what is the page name? Action 1. We have right click and rename it. So I'm going to rename this as a RTL underscore FB login page. And that's what we have renamed the page. By default, we'll see two actions, start and end. This is obviously required for every page. These two actions are required for every page. Okay. So now what we want to do is application modeler is very important. What is the purpose of application modeler? Whenever you want to interact with any application, first you need to identify what are the elements are there in that application. When I say element, there might be text box, there might be, for example, if we take this window, this is one element. This is one element. This is one element. These are three elements. So element means it is one action you can perform. Either click or enter or read. There is some data you want to read that. You would like to read that data. Then also we can take it as an element. Now the system is going to ask you, define a new application model. Yes. Share the application model of another project. So already one application model is there in another project. Would you like to access that? Yesterday we defined this, right? Yesterday we have defined this application model. So do you want to access this, or don't use application model with this object? You are not using the application model means you are not interacting with the application. Maybe you are using some calculations in your business object. So you are not at all using any application part, like you are not going to use any other applications like this. Okay, fine. So now, yes. Yes, Suresh, that we'll talk about later. Fine. So define a new application model. So select the application name, click next button, indicate what type of application you are using. Now it's going to ask you what type of application you are using. Are you using Windows application, Java based, browser based, or mainframe application? Okay. So now I'm going to say it is a browser based application. I would like to go for browser based. Let's say your client is using SAP application and client is telling that this is related to the Java based application, then you have to use Java based. So why we are going to select the application is I have to identify the elements from that application. Elements are nothing but text items. Let's say there are 100 text items. If I open the Facebook here, how many elements I am able to see here? Only 3 elements. Okay, so what are the 3 elements? Email, password, and login. And I can see some other elements. This all are comes under elements. This is an element. These all are elements. Okay, so from the application model, you are supposed to spy those elements because you want to work with that element. Your software robot should work with that element. When I say work, it should enter some information over there, or it should read the information from there, and it should click the buttons or right click on this, like whatever actions human is doing on the top of the enterprise structure, on the top of the enterprise, that you are going to perform it. Okay, fine. So that's why I'm selecting browser based application right now. And now it's going to ask me that indicate what type of application you are using. Okay, what type of application you are using, a browser which is already running, or a browser that is launched from an executable file. So if your client says that my application will be already there, your software robot can directly work on the application, then you can select the first option. If you say no, you have to launch the application, and you means your robot, your software robot should launch the application and then it has to open it. Right now we would like to work with the Internet Explorer, is the browser we are using. So that I am going to select the executable. For example, if your client says that I am using SAP application, then we will ask the client, tell me where is the executable for your SAP application. Then that executable file we will specify here. We will specify right now which file we are using, Internet Explorer. Okay, so whatever application your client is using, you will ask your client, right? You will ask your client to give that exe file and you will launch it. Maybe they will be using Microsoft product, maybe they will be using some other applications. Okay, so next, click next button. Please enter the URL of your start page and any other command line parameters. So this is the start page we would like to enter, right? And then any parameters you would like to pass, command line parameters, nothing but input parameters. Do you want to pass any input parameters? That we can pass. And click next button. Enter Java integration techniques. In case if Java plugins are enabled for your web application, do you want to include that? Or a HTC component, those are not required. And here we can see the application manager mode. We have different modes. When you are spying the element, when you are spying an element, we'll find different values, right? So that we will be discussing. Okay. Finish. So now what we have done, we have defined an application model as belongs to this object. Now this is the application explorer. So what is the definition of application explorer? It's a group of elements. It's a group of elements which we are having. Okay. So then we can see this application name here. Application name is here. Okay. And this is the path. And this is the URL we have entered. And this is the application manager mode. Different types of modes we have, 32-bit and 64-bit. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So then we wanted to start working with the element. Okay. So once we launch this application, first I want to enter my email ID here. I would like to enter. First we have to spy this element. Means we have to recognize this element. How will you do this? Let's say launch. It's already launched. Now we can see here. Then after we launch this, so element name we can change, whatever element name we require. Click identify button. Click identify. You can see left side there is, right, using the identification tool HTML mode is there, right? This top of the left. Now it's recognizing all my elements. So you work for any application. You work for any application. There will be a pages, right? There will be a pages, text items and hyperlinks, buttons, all this, that it is going to spy it. Okay. Now this particular element I want to spy. use control button and left click. Is control button and left click. Now we can see that application model belongs to this object. Application model belongs to this object here. Which element we have taken? Email ID. What type of element this is? HTML element. And what type of data type it is? Text, right? And go for uncheck the properties. Uncheck the properties. Now we can see that these are the properties are captured. Okay. And if you want to know whether we have captured properly or not, click the highlight button. Click the highlight button. Now it's telling that it's captured. Select apply. Now I want to go for add another element. So application model is purely for spying the element. We don't write any logic here. We don't design any flow here. Just for spying all your elements. Whatever the elements you want to work in your application, you are going to do it from here. Okay. So then password, identify. Now here we can see that it is highlighting. Press control and left click. Now select the properties. Some of the properties has been enabled but doesn't have any values. Uncheck those properties. I'll tell you that later in case if that is enabled what happened. And let's go for ascending order. Now everything is fine. And click highlight button to find whether it is able to spy it or not. Now it's working. Click apply button. Two elements we have identified. Then go for third one. Add element. This is login button. This is login button. Identify. And here is a button. Now it's identifying. Use the control and left click. Now we can uncheck whatever the properties are there with null values. That now this is its system is telling that it is a button. It is a HTML button. Okay, fine. Now just for checking highlight. Now it's spying. Fine. So like these three elements we have identified. Application model is purely to spy your application, to identify your elements in your application. Okay. So how many things we have identified? 3. Press OK. So that's how first we have to work with the application model. Without application model, if you are developing a business object, that's going to be like a programming. Programming means having some logic. You will define some variables. You will write some if statement. You will define some loops. You will do some calculations here, multi calculations, and you will try to do some collections. This all right. So whenever you are working with application model, it means you are trying to interact with some application that may be Oracle product or Microsoft product or any product you are trying to interact. Right now we are interacting with the web application. Right now we are in any application, the procedure will be same. The procedure will be same for any application, but there will be some different modes. We'll talk about that different modes later. Okay, fine. So now the spying work is completed. Now we have to start work with the designing of the business object design. Okay. So before start working with the designing, make sure that your spying work is completed successfully. Then now here are the commands we have in Blue Prism to configure our workflow. Okay. So first I'm going to take a navigate here. Okay. So this is the start action and end action that is common for any page. Now we want to navigate first. Double click. Now we wanted to navigate into this like a launch. We would like to go for launch this. We can give any name. and just drag this particular element here. And what action you want to perform here? Launch the Facebook application. There is something like inputs and outputs. We'll talk about this later. If I explain all these things now, you will be getting confused. Okay. So fine, press OK. Now I'm going to define a link from start to launch and launch to end. Right. So save this business object and reset. In case if there are any errors, we'll see error messages here. Okay. And then we can go for run this particular business object. Now it's going to launch your Facebook application. Then we want to enter the value here. We would like to set the value here. Okay. When you want to write the value in a particular text item, then we will be using this command. When you want to read the value from the text item, for example, system has generated some code that you want to read. So we will use this read option. Let's say there is a data in your Excel. In Excel sheet, my data is there. I want to read from Excel sheet or from XML codes. That will be doing it. We will be working with Excel sheets and all. Okay. So let me go for read. Sorry, we want to write right now. So go to pointer. Let me remove this links. Now we want to write here. Now we would like to write. So go to properties. And which element you can see right side application explorer and data explorer. Application explorer is nothing but the list of elements which you have inspected by using application model. By using application model, whatever the elements you have inspected, that we will see right side. And data explorer is nothing but your variables, right? Your images, your collections and text items. This will be talking later. Now I would like to go for email ID here and enter the value. In Blue Prism, if you want to enter any value, hard coding value, then you must enter the value in double quote. Value must be entered in the double quote. Okay. Press OK. Then again we want to write in the password. Properties. Enter. Now these values I want to change dynamically. I would like to change these values dynamically. Then we will be using the data items. Data items are nothing but a variables. Data items are nothing but a variables. Then you want to maintain some more information. Then we will go for credential manager. There is something called in our settings. When we go for system settings, we will see that credential manager. Okay, fine. So now we are writing the information into the both elements. Next, we would like to go for button click, nothing but a navigate. Okay, so select the element. Click center is the action we would like to perform. Then go for define the link. Okay, save the workflow, save the business object. Now it is saved. Now we'll go for launch the application. So let me close it. Okay, so there is no current stage. Let's reset, select. Yes. So while login, it's saying that there is no element here. Reset. That's a problem with the application. Fast. Let me make it as slow. Now it's going to launch the application. So now see, it's taking time, right? So by that time, it is searching for an email ID element. Now we'll take the doubt session. Okay. Harish, what is the disadvantage of Blue Prism? Harish, we could not find any disadvantages with the Blue Prism. When we compare with Automation Anywhere is very user friendly, and Blue Prism, somewhat you need to design that back office robots and all. Yes, Suresh. Please let us know one or more two business use cases where Prism will be. Yes, Suresh, I can understand your doubt. Okay. But it is a classroom of around how many members? 59 members. There are freshers, there are experienced people, there are highly experienced. So I have to satisfy all the people. So that's why we are working with the initial stage basic things. Don't worry, we will be covering all the use cases. Some of the things, when I am explaining my project details, some of the things I may not be able to tell you practically, but we will reach maximum level. That's not a worry. Then how to read Senker data from Excel. Those, there is very long journey Senker to read the Excel. Right now we have writing. Then next option we are going to read it. So that will be discussing next level. Sunil, can you please let us know in which case SAP uses Blue Prism? Sunil, for example, your client SAP, your client is using the SAP. SAP is one of the ERP application where we can see the financial, supply chain management and HR. So your client wanted to enter the bills, invoices automatically, whatever the invoices they received from legacy, that they can go for automate. And for manufacturing clients, they wanted logistic clients, they want to enter the work fastly, then it will be used. Okay. Krishna, can you please explain if we want to use other than specified applications in application modular? In application modular, whatever we got it, those things can be done, Krishna. More than that, it is not possible because those are the options given by those are the options. The .NET application we have, right? Window based. Those are Windows based. Windows based is there, Java based, browser based, and mainframes. So maximum these business applications in the world, we have this. Other than this, still Blue Prism has not provided. Okay, there is some concept called surface automation. So there we can work with any product. That also will be discussed. Yes, Ratan Kumar, why we uncheck the blank properties? Yes, blank properties, if we don't uncheck, right now there may not be a problem because you are trying to spy only 2 to 3 elements. Okay, so when these properties are matching other elements, then it is a problem. How do we encrypt the values? Those all comes in that. Where is password link? Here it is, right? Writer 1. This is your password. I have not changed the element name. This is what actually your password link, right? This. I have not changed the name. Yes, we can encrypt the password. There is a concept of credential manager. We'll be talking option. Venkat Sai, to identify one object is enough, right? No, we have to identify each and every object, right? Otherwise, how the where system will go for enter the values and do it. Okay, fine. So that's about the doubt session what we have discussed. Okay. So now we wanted to go for this, right? This is password we have entered, right? Now let's say I'm using the data item. So what is mean by data item? Data item is nothing but a variable. You might be knowing the basic definition of variable in other languages. Same concept here. So variable is basically to store some value. Now username I'm going to enter here. Right now we are hard coding the value username. Instead of that, I want to use the variables. So go to data item. So go to data item 1 and another data item 2. One is for email ID storage, another one is for password. So double click. One data item is nothing but one variable. Data type text, and what is the initial value? RPA dot nourish at the rate of gmail.com. Right. Then password. Data type I'm going to say password here, and the initial value is this, whatever you. This is hard coding the values here. But when we are working in a project, there is a concept called credential managers. We'll talk about that later, credential manager. Now go to your option, whatever the data related. Just now we discussed data items are nothing but a variables which will be used to store the values here. Now your email ID is here and password is here. Now you can see data exploration. This is application explorer. This is data explorer. Okay. So in the data explorer, we can see all the variables, nothing but a data items. One variable is there, what category it comes, passwords. Another data item is there, what category it is, a text. Now I don't want this value, right? Remove it. Instead of that, what do you want to use? This. Press OK. Then go to password. Remove this value. Right? Drag it. So we are trying to change the value. We don't need to give the link for these two. These are just data items, nothing but a variables. Okay. So now save this. Variables are added to the business object. Save. Let me log out from the application. Okay. And reset this. And we'll the same thing what we have done the previous. But this time what happened? It's going to take the values from the data items. From the data items, nothing but from variables. Okay. So previous execution, we have seen how to hard code the values. Now we have seen how to work with the variables. How to work with the variables. Okay. This is the process. This is very simple process which we have discussed. Okay. So as I told our just 1 second. Let me download our syllabus copy. So this is going to be our syllabus, what we have discussed. So we'll be talking about Process Studio, Object Studio, multiple applications we are going to work, Windows application, okay, web applications, and then we will be working with some, in case if you have some other, any your applications, like if you are working any project, I'm ready to help you, how it can be done, how to work with the process flows, and how to work with the looping structure and break inputs, data items, just now we talked about local data items, case management, how to configure the Blue Prism control room and Blue Prism item templates, application modular, and how we can go for spying. Okay, so Blue Prism coding standards we'll be discussing, and we'll talk about the use case in our project. So we'll have the training first, the setups which we are going for as first software installation. Don't worry, we will provide the software installation, everything which is licensed version. Then we are going for our training, which comes around 20 to 24 hours. Then during these hours we are going to cover all the topics, and then we will go for having the use cases and project explanation. Project I can explain theoretically, I cannot show it to you practically, but I can show you how the documents will be prepared in the project, what is the use case and everything. Then after that, resume preparation, resume explanation, this all will be done. And if you are interested to write certification, we are ready to support to write a certification. So certification cost will be $70. In online, you have to register $70. That is going to be Blue Prism certification cost. Okay. So this is the journey we are going to do next 20-25 days. Okay. So we have done the demo sessions from last 2 days. Yes. Ratan Kumar, Automation Anywhere, there are 2 batches are going on, morning and evening. Please talk with Naresh. He will provide you the complete information. Harish, can you give us as example for back office tasks? Definitely, I'll be giving you the entire our training will be going with the examples. How familiar it with Pega application development tool? Anand, it is familiar with any BPM application, as we know that Pega is one of the good reporting tool for BPM application. Definitely, it will be useful for interaction. Bharat, timings are same, morning 6 to 7, same timings, whatever the session, but meeting ID will be changed from tomorrow. What is the latest version in Blue Prism? 5, Suresh. Blue Prism 5 we are using, latest version. How about the test results in Blue Prism, like test case passed or failed? Like that will be based on the task which you are going to define, Suresh. Venkat Sai, is it for 20-24 hours or including? No, Venkat Sai, Blue Prism itself will take 20 to 24 hours. Automation Anywhere max 15 to 20 hours. Not more than that. Yes. After Blue Prism, can I get it same timing for? Yes, exactly, Ratan. Same timing. This is a standard slot, 6 to 7 morning. The same timing. And once you pay the fees, in case if the timings are not possible, no problem. You please inform to our training coordinator saying that I'll follow the next batch. There will be 3-4 batches going on, morning and evening timings. Except our standard office timings, morning 9:30 to evening 5. Remaining timings, we have the batches. Durga, Blue Prism is more suitable for back office robot, but still you can work with the front office robot also. Yes, Anand, we are going to cover both the tools, Blue Prism and Automation Anywhere. So Blue Prism is there, Automation Anywhere. So now there is no relation between these two. You can start your journey with Blue Prism first, complete. Then you can complete the Automation Anywhere. Or you can start your journey with Automation Anywhere first and then complete the Blue Prism. There is no link between these two. It doesn't mean that you must learn a Blue Prism first, later you have to learn Automation Anywhere. So generally in the market, one tool is more than enough. when you are perfect with this tool. Okay, but still, why we learn multiple tools is we will be more in demand, will be more in the demand. So that's why, including this, we are supposed to talk about VBA access, VBA macros will be talking, and we'll be talking MS Access database, and basic Visual Basic script. That's also will be explaining, and then these all are very helpful for automation anyway. So most of the times that also will be discussed. We don't have any HTML reports, Suresh, here. RPA lifecycle, Harish, that is nothing but a project. I'll explain in the project how the life cycle will be continued. Yes, Ratan Kumar, everything you can talk with, timings and all. Only subject I can talk with you guys. Any doubts in the subject like syllabus, project, this and all. Timings and other you can talk with the coordinators. Is that dynamic reports generation? Yes, we can see the dashboard, right? If we look at in our Blue Prism, there is a dashboard. So what is the purpose of dashboard? It will show you what are the processes are completed, what are the... Yes, Durga, every material will be shared. Don't worry, that is. Like you will be receiving the soft material from us, and as well as our project also will be getting it here. J, in any domain, if there is any repetitive tasks are going on, so it is irrespective of our domain, right? So there is some repetitive tasks are going on, or there is some business flow which you wanted to perform. Okay, so then we will be using this. Yes, Chandrika, everything will be covered. Kalyan, please talk with Naresh. Still, if you are not clear doubts, he will provide you my number. You can talk with, because as I'm working professional, I may not be able to respond immediately. Better clear maximum work with him, and then still any doubts are there, we'll talk it. Right? Now we'll be talking about all the Blue Prism delivery management, how to build the applications, how to build delivery methodology we'll be talking, and then how to define the project functional requirement, how we'll get it from the client, how to define the process document, PDD. So this all we are going to talk in our project area. So in our project area, we'll be talking our delivery methodology, how we are going to deliver the project, and how to deploy the bots at the client place, process release acceptance and control policy document, Blue Prism process implementation plan, everything we are going to, how we can go for design the documents, what documents we are using. Generally, when we go for entry, they'll ask you, right, which documents you have prepared, ODA documents, OID documents, process design documents, and design authority. This all are, we'll be talking. Every document I'll share, that's not a problem when we are working with the Blue Prism and others. And how we are going to test the applications. And so deployment process, infrastructure, and security policy, database administration, this all will be discussed. And our soft copy is there. There are completely guides to work with, how we can interact with release manager, how to work with browser automation, delivery methodology, exception handling, functional requirement questionnaires, okay, and Blue Prism tiles, and how to read the text from OCR, how to work with the Java applications, automation, how will you work with mainframe applications. Okay, SAP integration guide is there, which when you are working with SAP, and surface automation. So this is all we are going to work. Okay, So every guide will be how to work with VBOs. These all are samples I'll be providing, and how to work with the process. These all are our previous project. Okay, fine. Fine, guys. Let's see you. People who has enrolled for the course, they'll be allowed from tomorrow. Please talk with Mr. Naresh, as I told. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your valuable time. Last 3 days we had very nice. Okay. So let's see you on the screen tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much.